Welcome to Kicks and Minivans, the podcast for dads who love sneakers. I am your host, KG. I am joined today by the one, the only Mrs. Kicks. Mrs. Kicks. Yeah, sorry. Mrs. Kicks, my wife, is here to join us for this. If you have been hanging with us the last couple of episodes, appreciate it. We dived into some really tough things to talk about. So today, we're just keeping it fun. We're keeping it lighthearted. And I'm really looking forward to this episode. I get to hang out with you the whole episode. So, to me, that's a pretty good way to do it. So, we are going to jump right in. We have not done a draft in a long minute. So, we are going to do a draft. And in honor of Valentine's Day, we are doing a chocolate draft. And I feel like you should go first on this one. So, 5 picks each. You started off. Let's go.
All right. My number one might be basic, but it's a classic. I don't know that I could ever have the willpower to turn down a hot fudge brownie sundae.
So I can't take brownie if you took hot fudge brownie sundae, right? You just took like the whole brownie is gonna be my number one pick. A good brownie is better than a good cookie.
Yes.
And a brownie sundae is better than a cookie sundae? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody does cookie sundae. Well,
you put ice cream on a cookie, that's good still.
It's different.
A hot fudge brownie sundae, that's a quality. It's a quality.
Would you ever say no?
Depends on where I'm at with my calories for the day. But right now, that sounds
Calories
pretty
are
good.
not.
But see, with the creamy, I mix the low-calorie brownie in. So
No,
it's
but
like I
this
kind
is
of
a
get.
warm,
No, it doesn't.
chewy.
It doesn't match up to that. But it still gives me. It can satisfy that craving for a portion of the calories.
But it is not.
It's not the same though. No, it's not the same. But it can satisfy that craving. It's still delicious, but a hot fudge brownie sundae is excellent. All right, my number one then. I'm gonna go with a chocolate milkshake. I love me a chocolate shake.
It's perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the milkshake master.
I do love shakes.
All right. Pick number 2. Shout out to Olive Garden.
Oh,
Their chocolate was
dang
on
it.
that.
That thing is so good. It is like,
I don't know how many layers, but they're all good.
I don't know, the chocolate lasagna at Olive Garden. We got that, what was it, right after Corey was born? We got that and we were like, wow, this is
It's good.
decadent.
Yep.
That is amazing.
I think you got 2 bites and I ate the rest.
You're just,
But
so,
we had it in the
I wasn't.
hospital, so.
yeah, that's, you were having whatever you wanted. All right, my next one then, I'm going to go with the molten lava cake.
I almost forgot.
That
one's good.
That, yeah, I couldn't let you get the hot fudge brownie sundae and that one.
Okay, I have anything chocolate fondue. You can dip pineapple, pretzels,
That was my next one.
marshmallows, strawberries.
I didn't think you were gonna have. I thought that was gonna be like my sleeper pick. That was gonna win me the whole thing. That was.
This is going well.
Dang it! I thought I had that one in the bag. All right, I gotta take Reese's off the board. I have to take. It's the best candy. When you think of like what's the best candy bar, 98% of the people are gonna say Reese's, and the other 2% are allergic to peanut butter, but they still know better. They wish they could say Reese's.
I'm personal peanut butter allergy. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You're up with your 4th one.
This one's very vague, broad. Not vague, but broad. Chocolate chips in any pumpkin or banana flavored baked item.
That feels like
Chocolate chip banana bread, chocolate chip pumpkin bread, muffin.
that's like they're more of an accessory at that point.
They are. But chocolate chip banana bread is way different than just
It
banana
is
bread.
different. I actually prefer regular banana bread.
And I like the chip.
I'm in the minority on that one. I know that, but all right, that's fine. You can have that. I will take. Again, I'm probably in the minority of people that love this. This is one of my all-time favorite snacks: chocolate-covered pretzels.
I knew you were
I love chocolate-covered. It is the perfect combination of salty and sweet, and I absolutely love them. I know I might be in the minority, but I had to pick them.
But you have the prepackaged ones, and then you have like the delicacy ones.
When they're like homemade,
Yeah.
like by someone that knows what they're doing, like I've never tried it, but dude, they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you get the flips pretzels or whatever. It's like they're okay, but it's not the same.
And it's the texture of the pretzel underneath the chocolate.
Yeah. When you get a good one of those, they're an elite snack. They're a top tier snack.
All right, I'm gonna end mine right where number 5 on a white chocolate peppermint mocha.
I debated taking like a warm beverage with one. That's pretty good. The only white chocolate thing taken in the draft, white chocolate peppermint mocha. All right, my last one. This is a very specific one. The Breyers chocolate truffle ice cream. That junk is so creamy. It is so creamy and delicious. It is like the best Breyers flavor of ice cream. Besides the Oreo blasted one, is the chocolate truffle.
I can't remember the Oreo blasted.
We haven't gotten it in years, but the chocolate truffle Breyers ice cream is like one of my all-time favorite boxed ice cream junks. That one's so good. But yeah, let us know who you think won that one. I vote you.
The backup.
You kept stealing my picks left and right. I mean, it's like you took my two biggest hitters, the fondue and the brownie. I was banking on both of those in my lineup, and you stole them from me. And I felt lost and disrupted after that.
I had a heart-shaped Reese's cup because you have to have the right ratio, and we disagree on this.
No.
All right. Do you need more peanut butter in your ratio or more chocolate?
Look, the standard Reese's cups and the little miniature Reese's Johns are perfection. All the holiday special things, the egg, the Christmas tree, like the heart, like it's a waste. They're not that good. They're not that good. Also, how can you go from like, don't they have like a pumpkin for Halloween? They have a pumpkin one, then they have a Christmas tree one, then they have the heart one, and then they have the egg for Easter. And then there's like nothing for 6 months.
They should at least have a star.
Get like some sort of summer thing out there. I feel like they're missing a huge market with the summer. Not that I would eat them, like I just go with the regular ones anyway, but I feel like they're missing out on a lot right there with the summer markets. They have like 6 months of no special. Maybe it's because it melts in the summer. I feel like they're missing out.
Opportunity.
All right, so this is the Valentine's Day. We'll call it a Valentine's Day special because it's my podcast. I can call it a problem. But I went and looked up just a few different polls and stuff like that, and there were some different polls on like what are the things that women want for Valentine's Day, and then there's what do men want for Valentine's Day. So we're gonna start with what do women want or expect. What is the top 5 gifts? And you gotta guess these. This is guessing game. So what are the top 5 gifts that women want for Valentine's Day?
Okay, clarifying question. Is this truly what women want, or is it what men think women want?
This is women answered. Women answered what they want for Valentine's Day.
All right.
Now, I don't know if this is like the deepest heart desire of them, or if it's what they expect. This is the poll that I found. This is women answered. What do they want for Valentine's Day? What are the top 5 responses?
Well, you do have the very holiday spirit women who do want flowers and chocolate and a dinner date.
Those were number 2, 3, and 4. Chocolate and candy and flowers were 2 of the 3 that are tied for first place. So they're in 1, 2, or 3. There are 2 of them. And then 34% of women each said they wanted chocolates or candy and flowers. And then there's another one that's at 34%. And then a nice dinner out was 33%.
Okay. Is jewelry the other one?
Jewelry's number 5.
Okay.
You're nailing this one. Jewelry's number 5 at 25%. So you have the number 1. We're tied for number 1 to go still.
I would imagine, like, I don't, like a self-care, like getting their nails or something done.
I think that was somewhere in like the top 20-ish, which is a very big list. I know, but it was not the number 1.
Teddy bear.
No. I did not see that one on the list, actually. I wonder at what age that stops being a thing, you know?
Yeah. Pretty young.
So,
She wants a teddy bear for Valentine's Day. She's too young for you, bro.
mic drop.
Okay. Is this a glaringly obvious one?
You have mentioned it to me very recently, actually.
Something I wanted?
You're like, we'll tell this story in a little bit.
Oh, a card.
A card. Okay. A card is the number 1.
So,
Card, chocolates or candy, and flowers was the 3-way tie for first.
So women really answered that they do want those things.
Yes. Women answered 34%.
They're not bad to get it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's kind of like,
it's just like,
do they want them or do they just expect, like,
Right.
it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to get chocolate and flowers and a card to go with it.
right.
Sort of
Because
thing.
they're nice to get.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah.
Okay.
So rolling into.
You want to tell the story?
Sure.
I don't remember this, so this might, it's factual based on what you're saying.
So, I don't know. I can't remember if we were dating. Well, we were dating. It was before we were engaged. It was early on in our relationship, and we had a discussion if we were going to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Which we started dating in May, so it was about, our first Valentine's Day was about 9 months in, so
Yeah.
it wasn't.
So it's probably realistic that it was our first one, just to, set the precedent. And we both kind of agreed that Valentine's Day is a day that celebrates things that should be done throughout the entire year, not just special one-day thing and then forget that it happened.
Don't put in a ton of effort on one day and not the other 364 days.
Right. So it just didn't hold a lot of stock in the day didn't really hold a lot of stock in our relationship of like going up and down to celebrate. So we decided no gifts. We weren't doing anything special. It was just going to be another day, which was fine. It was a mutual agreement. But in the back of my mind, we hadn't had a Valentine's Day together yet. So I just didn't know, like, if the bar was being set low, that way, like, you did randomly decide to, like, get anything and be a surprise. I can't remember if I sent you a card or not. I don't even remember. But anyways, Valentine's Day rolled around, and we were still on distance. So, like, no card in the mail. I got candy from my mom.
You still get candy.
In a Valentine. And I can't say that I was surprised because we had the conversation, but it just solidified that we really weren't celebrating these things.
But you had said, and I'm a very literal person, especially when we first started dating.
Yes.
I said what I meant.
said, I go to bed early, and then
the first night we got dinner together, I told you, like, I go to bed by, like, 10 p.m. And you had texted me at, like, 11, and I didn't respond. And you're like, why isn't he responding?
And then it was, like, I don't know, 6 o'clock the next morning or 7, I don't know. You were, like, going to go to play ball or whatever. And it was like, oh, he really did go to sleep early.
I really went to sleep that early and still do.
So it was just a check-in that you say what you you mean, and you may say.
But pro tip, if it's your first Valentine's Day, at least send her a card. She is expecting that in the back of her mind. I'm sorry.
I don't know that I was expecting it, but I just was curious if it was really nothing or if there was going to be a surprise. Just curiosity. So, pro tip, if you want to save money, make sure you have that conversation your first Valentine's Day, and then you don't have to buy a gift for forever.
For the rest of your life.
If you stay together.
See that? Another pro tip right there. Kids and minivans helping you out.
Financial.
Saving you money one February at a time. All right. So let's move. What are the top 5 things men want for Valentine's Day?
Well, I've never bought you a Valentine's Day gift, so I've got no
No,
feedback.
and I feel that. Just kidding.
Oh, what a men want? I feel like it's like electronics or a watch. No.
Nothing electronic on here.
Any kind of jewelry? Made jewelry? Cologne? A card?
A card is number 1. Believe it or not. I was shocked by that because cards
Nobody
mean
reads
nothing to me.
those.
Not nothing, but. Okay, it is very different if it's just like a generic Happy
Right.
Valentine's Day from blah, 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 versus like an actual handwritten, like someone put some thought and express how much you mean to them, sort of thing. That's very different. That would mean a lot.
Do you guys want chocolate? Do they want
So card is number 1. Chocolates or candy was number 5.
flowers? No, I'm just kidding.
Flowers did not make the list.
Um,
There's one more that was on the women's list that's also on the men's list.
a dinner.
Dinner out was number 2. So you need number 3 and 4 still.
Protein powder.
That's what I want.
I don't know what guys want or expect for Valentine's Day.
You got 2 more you haven't got yet. One you're not going to want to say out loud.
Okay, intimacy.
Bedroom favors was listed at number 3. And number 4, I don't think they're going to get this one.
Like a gift card.
Nothing.
Nothing.
21% of men said they want nothing for Valentine's Day. And I
Are those men in
absolutely
relationships, I wonder?
I don't know. I couldn't find that out. I couldn't find out the parameters of the poll. But 21% of guys, but it wouldn't shock me if a lot of them were in relationships. And there might also be a shred of thought that says, if I get nothing for Valentine's Day, I don't have to give anything for Valentine's Day. So that wouldn't shock me either. But I also think it's like, men just kind of go and get what they need or want, you know? And so, you know, like jewelry or cologne or something like that might be nice, but also like, you might feel like it's a waste a little bit. Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
I was thinking like a Rolex, like nice.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the budget. But yeah, I feel like it's like those Christmas commercials where they're like, surprise your spouse with a $50,000 car. Like, welcome to our $1,000 a month payment, honey. Merry Christmas. Like, that's always a little strange. You know? But yeah, 21% of men said they want nothing for Valentine's Day. So, some similarities with the women's list, but definitely some other.
A card I did not expect, especially to be number 1.
I didn't either. It was number 1. 27%, so less than the women that said that, but the women, it was 34% said that. But yeah, 27%, and then nice dinner out was number 2, and then yeah. So, all right, let's move on to a little game called This or That. Okay.
Your face, I'm not sure about it now.
Yeah, this one's pretty harmless, but I also found it interesting. So, which holiday do Americans enjoy more? So, figuring out where Valentine's Day ranks.
Oh,
This is in relation to other holidays. So I'm going to give you 6 other major holidays. And you have to tell me if Americans prefer Valentine's Day or that holiday.
Okay.
That makes sense. And start easy. Christmas.
Christmas is that.
Christmas or Valentine's Day.
Christmas.
Yes.
So you if you're saying this or that.
Yeah. No, just
Christmas.
Yeah, that was the name I picked. It doesn't mean anything. Christmas. Yeah, it said 79% prefer Christmas, 10% prefer Valentine's Day, and 11% not sure. So I'm like, okay, there's some like hopeless romantics out there in the 10% that are going to pick Valentine's Day for everything. I don't know why I'm not sure.
You just don't celebrate.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be it too. So then let's move to Thanksgiving.
I would say Thanksgiving, but I could be wrong.
No, you're right.
Okay.
79% again, Thanksgiving. But this time it's 11% Valentine's Day and 10% not sure. So 1% moved from the not sure to definitely Valentine's Day over Thanksgiving, which I just found humorous. Okay. All right, next, Mother's Day.
I could see it being Valentine's Day. Depending on relationships.
Is that your answer? What's your answer?
I would pick Mother's Day. Mother's Day.
Mother's Day it is. 65% Mother's Day. That's like the third most important holiday of the year, I feel like, for most people. So you got Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then Mother's Day is a pretty big one. Maybe not the third most, but 65% prefer Mother's Day, 17% Valentine's Day, 18% not sure. So Father's Day. How important is Father's Day on the Kicks and Minivans podcast?
Based on your tone, I feel like this is where the water's turned. Is it Valentine's Day?
It's still Father's Day. It's still Father's Day. 53%, so it's less. It's lower. 53% prefer Father's Day, 25% prefer Valentine's Day, 22% not sure. So you also have to think, there are a lot more households with absent fathers than absent mothers.
Right.
And so Father's Day might be a very sore day for a lot of people. Valentine's Day can be a sore day for a lot of people too. There's some horror Valentine's Day stories out there. But anyway, 2 more. Halloween.
People who love Halloween really love Halloween.
There's some fanatics about Halloween out there, dude. I got more into it now that we have kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun now, dressing them up and all that. There's some.
I'm going to say Halloween.
Yep. 54% prefer Halloween, 30% Valentine's Day, 16% not sure. All right, last one we'll do. Labor Day. Labor Day. First Monday of September.
I would prefer Labor Day. Long weekend. I don't get off work for Valentine's Day, but I get.
I think that's why Labor Day won.
Okay.
Labor Day won. 43% prefer Labor Day, 35% Valentine's Day, 21% not sure. Valentine's Day is not preferred over any other major holiday, actually. So it's like the least important one to people. Probably because it's like a made-up day. Or something. I don't know. They're all kind of made-up days, but.
I think more people, like Labor Day, you're excited to do stuff with family, get out, plan a trip.
Long weekend, too.
Most people celebrate Valentine's Day because not because you don't want to do it, but it feels obligatory. It just feels like you kind of do it, and then you forget that it happened. Whereas every other, you're planning stuff with more people than just one, or I don't know. It's more of an event than Valentine's Day is I gotta stop at the store so I don't get in trouble for not getting something.
I still remember the one time, when we lived in Philly still, I went to work out at Anytime Fitness one day after work. It was a Valentine's Day. And then I popped over to I don't remember if it was Acme or Pathmark still, but I popped to the grocery store next door to it to grab something, and the amount of men that were standing in front of the flower case, like trying to pick something out on their way home from work, it was just hysterical to me.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you walk by, and then it's like another row of men in the candy aisle trying to pick something out, and I'm like, yeah, they're all
Last minute buyers.
last minute. Either they forgot, or maybe they were just planning on
Yeah.
stopping then. Although it's like, you shouldn't plan on stopping on your way home from work on Valentine's Day.
But then they would be the precious flowers, potentially.
See, and as a guy, you would logically think that.
Mm-hmm.
If I pick them up on the way to work,
Yeah.
then what am I going to do with them all day? If I pick them up early, then I can't give them to her on Valentine's Day. So you think I'll pick them up on the way home from work, only to get there and they're out of flowers.
But if she's home, then she's sitting around waiting all day to see if she got something or not.
So what do they do? What does the husband do?
Individualized. Gotta know your person.
Not going to give any advice for the guys listening. Okay.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. So I did see a lot of people. I read a couple Reddit posts today.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people that are like, my boyfriend never does anything for me on Valentine's Day, but on the 15th he'll go out and buy me half price chocolates. I'm like,
Literally, if you wait 24 hours.
you get all the chocolates you want for half off. It's actually amazing because they're trying to get the Easter stuff out there at that point, you know.
The Easter stuff's out. It's just sitting right next to
So, proposal on Valentine's Day, yes or no?
Cringy.
Cringy?
I think so.
It is the most popular day of the year
I'm not surprised.
for engagements to happen.
I'm not surprised.
It is the #1 day of the year that engagements happen.
No offense to anyone who got engaged on Valentine's Day, but not for me.
There's a chance that people are. I proposed you close to it. It was like February 5th or 6th, but it was
It
before.
wasn't an after. Like, should have done this.
It had nothing to do with Valentine's Day. It was just when I could. We'll tell that story on another episode of Kicks and Begins. But all right, so Valentine's Day is the most popular day of the year for couples to get engaged. Can you guess the
Number?
others? No, not the number.
Oh, the
The
other.
other, I have a top 10 list. And some of them are like major days like Valentine's Day, and others are like kind of individualized days. But can you guess the 10 most popular days out of the year that couples will get engaged?
It's gotta be like Christmas, New Year's time.
Christmas Day is number 4.
Okay.
New Year's Day is number 9.
Oh.
Give you 1, 4, and 9 so far. But there's others around those days that are very specific but different from Christmas Day. Christmas Eve is number 3. That's more popular than Christmas Day. Dang it, Christmas Eve is almost like more magical than
Yeah.
Christmas Day, like the anticipation of it.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve is number 8 again. It's probably like the lead up of like 11:58
Yeah.
on New
Is it
Year's.
all the holidays? 4th of July. During the
4th of
fireworks?
July is number 10. I don't know that I would have guessed that one.
Fireworks. Automatic
Yeah.
event for
I feel like that's like more romantic than Christmas though.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like there would be something.
I mean, they always kiss during the fireworks on The Bachelor.
If you live your life by what they do on The Bachelor,
Wrong crowd.
you're not set up for a successful marriage. So.
Okay.
So you still need 2, 5, 6, and 7.
2, 5, 6, 7. You have a thumbs up over your head.
Oh, that's
Next to your head.
that's that. The app does that for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think it's telling us we're doing a great job recording.
I think so. Figuring out something. Okay. Is there a special day at Disney World? People can.
No. Number 2 is another set day in the year. I don't think you're going to guess that one. 5, 6, and 7 are like personalized.
Like birthdays or anniversary, date anniversaries.
Birthday is number 5. Other anniversaries was listed at 7. So it's like either a first date or when you officially became boyfriend, girlfriend. That's number 7. Number 6 is the anniversary of the day you met.
Mm-hmm.
So like couples are more likely to get engaged on the anniversary of the day they met than the anniversary of like when they officially started dating. Which I thought was like kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been the other way around. That's when we started dating.
Yeah. I don't know the date we met. It was the
April 3rd. That was our first date. Our first date was April 3rd.
Okay.
And then we started dating officially on May 17th. It was a couple days before April 3rd that we officially met. So I could go on a calendar. It was that Friday. But then we went to dinner for the first time on Tuesday. So, all right. And then number 2, you want to give a final guess?
Is that the actual calendar date?
It's the calendar date, yeah. Which is a very, I mean, it'll make sense, but I would have never guessed it. The Saturday before Christmas. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Then it's like you're not distracting from like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then it's like you go into the holiday knowing you're engaged or not. But like that's more common than Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, which I found like very interesting. It makes sense, but I never would have actually guessed that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, the Saturday before Christmas is the second most common day of the year for people to get engaged.
So if you get engaged the Saturday before Christmas, do you still do Christmas if you're the guy?
Or was that
And if so, is it like Starbucks?
Because I spent all this money on this right here. It's a good question.
That's the
Oh man. All right. So I saw a couple headline stories that I found interesting. So I just wanted to share a couple of them. There was an Italian man that recently went on a 280-mile walk to cool off from an argument with his wife. He was found by police at 2 a.m., initially disbelieved, obviously, due to the distance he had covered. His journey, averaging 40 miles a day, ended when his wife, who had reported him missing, arrived to pay his hotel bill and bring him home. So, like, even driving that at 60 miles an hour, it's taking you almost 5 hours to get there. That man just walked for 40 days. Like, what were they arguing about? And did they keep arguing when she picked him up? Like, that's what I want to know.
Like, was it the toilet paper over or under?
You don't walk 280 miles because of that. Like, what in the world were they fighting about? I have no idea.
She wanted another kid. No, I'm just kidding.
He might walk 280 miles if he's not about that. And that was in Italy. I don't know how far. That might be close to like the whole.
You couldn't walk any further.
He might have hit the border without crossing into another country, perhaps. In January of 1997, a California woman filed for divorce after 25 years of what her husband believed had been a happy marriage. The real reason didn't come out until 2 years later. On December 28, 1996, just 11 days before she filed for divorce, the wife had won $1.3 million in the California lottery. Thereafter, she took various actions to keep the money all to herself, including filing for divorce. When the truth came out, a Los Angeles family court judge ruled that the woman had violated state asset disclosure laws and awarded every cent of her lottery winnings to her ex-husband.
Wow.
And to that, I'm just like, justice.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you deserved it after that.
Wow.
After 25 years, can you
She's
imagine?
literally left with nothing.
I feel like that's about the worst thing you could do. Like, if one of us won, like, we'd be so excited. Like, you'd be the first person I would tell.
Right.
If I won $1 million. Well, you'd be the only person that would tell.
Right.
Like there'd be signs.
Yeah.
But like, you would be the only person that nobody else would know about it. You know, some people might get a random nice gift from us or something.
Right.
But like, yeah, I wouldn't be telling a lot of people, but you're definitely someone I would tell. I just can't imagine having to go like filing for divorce to get it all to yourself. Like,
And she got that for a year, almost a year.
no, I think it's like the truth came out 2 years later, like when all the divorce, because it's a process, you know. Yeah, she won, and then 11 days later filed for divorce.
Okay.
So I think it took them a while to discover the assets. But yeah. And then she lost all of it. She just feel like she deserved it at that point. So if that dude's ever out there listening to this, hope you're doing well now. All right, so in this one, the guy is a little unbelievable, but it's like, so a 34-year-old man filed for divorce from his 28-year-old bride just days after the wedding, after he saw her without makeup. Apparently, the man felt that his wife had deceived him with cosmetics, including fake eyelashes. The deception was discovered when the two went to the beach together and a dip in the ocean washed away her makeup.
Okay, but how long were you dating before
I'm
you
like,
got married?
how have you never?
Surprise.
How are you so surprised? And how
Like,
have you never seen her without makeup?
You haven't had enough life together at that point, I feel like.
Right.
I don't know.
Like,
But some people meet and get married quick and they live happily ever after.
true, but like,
But wow.
you have to
False
feel like,
advertising.
like, does he have a point though? Like, I don't know. Like, I also feel like if you got married to someone, it's for more than just their looks, right? Like, or it should be at least, right? And so I could get feeling confused, hurt, a little deceived maybe, but also like,
To take it that far.
you have to have known that the makeup was heavy if she looked that different.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
you had to.
And like, were you
There had to
never
be
there when she put
something.
it on or took it off or like had to get ready?
You know, maybe not. You know, if you're dating, not living together, and then, but like,
I don't know. I feel like we were long distance, but you still.
I still saw you without makeup.
Yeah.
But
I guess that was my choice.
yeah, and it's like we were just comfortable hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, like, I can get, but it's also like, yeah, how quickly did y'all get married after starting dating? And it didn't sound like a marriage that was going to last regardless of the reasoning. But like days, like on your honeymoon, you're just calling the Joel off. Like, really? Yeah. So compare that to this couple. You type in Florida couple, because they always say like, type in Florida man and see what the headline is, right? So I typed in Florida couple into Google. Got married in a car wash. The bride and groom wore casual clothes, like dude was like in a baseball hat and like a windbreaker, and sat in the front seats of the car as their officiant read the vows from the back seat, including like, we are gathered here today to bring this couple together in holy bed. And there's like a part of me that's like, that marriage is gonna last.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that kind of stuff, rather than like huge extravagant weddings, like sometimes you just feel like that. There's something special and unique about that, where it's like they're just like, and there's a video, they're like having a blast doing it, right? Which is just like so unique, right? I don't know. I just feel like that's like a wedding a marriage that would be built to last. Maybe.
Yeah. They're just chill, comfortable, have fun.
And they're in it more for
creative.
Yeah, they're in it more for the marriage than the wedding. You know, it's like people spend so much time
She
preparing
probably
for a
didn't
wedding.
even put makeup on for that wedding.
Who knows?
It's gonna get washed off at the car wash.
They did have the windows up, so now you know. But yeah, I thought that was like a fun.
Hopefully they got a free car wash.
It'd be interesting to, you know.
It doesn't matter.
Another way, it's a cheap venue for a wedding,
Yeah.
no matter what. You have to know, like, did the employees running the car wash know what was happening inside the car too? Like, did they come out and drive away with the little soda cans at the back or something? That'd be cool.
They would have washed all that off.
Gotta reapply it now. Yeah. All right. So I put a reel recently up on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, just asking married couples how many times a month do you have a date night, and then also ask how many kids do you have, because that changes things, and I feel like, you know, got a couple dozen responses across all the platforms, and I feel like, you know, there's exceptions in each, but like they can be categorized into a couple major components, a couple major categories, right? So you have like your empty nesters. The empty nesters that responded to me very much were like, oh, like at least once a week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. But you have to think like they're empty nesters, so they don't have little kids at home. Usually at that point in life, you have more money, and so, you know, going out more frequently is within the budget, within your means. And you have time. You just don't have the other obligations. Then you have the category of, in our phase of life, well, the category below that is you have kids in the house, but they're a little bit older, right? And so it's like you got like 17-year-old, and maybe you have an older sibling that can watch the younger ones. You don't have to bring a babysitter or family in or something like that. And one of the most common things I got from that demographic was they do like quick outings. They do like quick dates all the time. It's like they might not do like these big extravagant dates, but like they'll go get ice cream, or they'll go get coffee, or they'll go just run errands, do grocery shopping, and like count that as a date because it's the two of them. And like that was something that's like very subjective too, of like, what do you classify as a date night? Right. Is it like dressing up and going out to a steakhouse, spending $200 on dinner? Like, because if it's that, like we don't do that often, like ever. Like
what? I don't think we've ever done that.
We did the Spirit of Philadelphia once.
Yeah.
That was like the fanciest date we ever went on.
Once before we were engaged.
Before we were engaged. Yeah, that was like.
That was when everyone thought we were getting engaged.
Yeah, people thought I was doing it. I might have had the ring, but I didn't. I wanted it to be more of a surprise, and that felt a little expected.
Yeah.
But I think I had the ring, but it was like 6 months later still that
I don't even think I even thought of it that night.
Yeah, we had fun though.
Yeah, it was fun.
So yeah, but that category, that demographic with the older like teens in the house, very much a lot of the couples that responded said that they had more frequent date nights. One even said like up to 10 times a month, but they counted like coffee date, ice cream date, like running to the post office together, like just doing things, just the two of them without kids outside of the house. Then you had like the younger family, like in our demographic, with the little ones in the house. And a lot of them just said like, no dates. Like, it's not, like it's sad.
Yeah.
Or a lot of them said like, we do a lot of in-house dates, you know, which I think is great. It's like we've done a lot more of those now than we did before kids. And then it's like you had the ones that don't have kids that they're like, yeah, we do a bunch of dates. It's like they have dual income, no kids. They got time and money to be able to do that stuff. But then there was just a lot that just said, like, probably close to half of the people that responded said they don't do any date nights. Or if they do, it's like once a year. You know, and they're like, we'll go out to dinner for our anniversary and Valentine's Day. You know, and I'd say like it might be close to half of the people that responded. It was like once or twice a year or none at all. But then it's like you had some of these other ones that it's like, they have teenagers in the house or empty nesters. And, I love, there's a family that I knew way back when I was growing up, and they responded to the post and said, they have like 3 or 4 kids that are all older now, and they do like 3 or 4 dates a month. But even when their kids were younger, they made it a priority to do 2 date nights a month. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when you set that precedent in this stage of life when they're young, mm-hmm. of saying like, hey, you and me, our time together is the most important thing. Like, then that carries on. Then you do become those empty nesters that go on like 10 dates a month. When you have the time and the money to be able to do that. I feel like it's the ones that like when you don't do anything now because the kids just absolutely take over everything. Then it's like, yeah, you become empty nesters and you still don't date. So.
We were good at it for a while, and then I think everybody got sick, and we fell off of our routine.
But, yeah. You want to tell them what our routine was for a while? We've been talking about trying to get back on it, and it's just like we keep getting distracted. We keep getting knocked down by so many things right now. But
no, well, you are the one. I don't know if you got the idea from that family or if you came up. I don't remember, but you were the one that I think had the idea initially.
I think I saw it on TikTok or something.
Yeah, but once a month we would try to do an out of the house date, and then once a month we do in the house date, and then so one of us would plan whichever one, and then we'd switch the following month. So in the house is, I don't know, in some ways more creative, and then in some ways not, because it could be easy. December was really easy because we just watched Hallmark movies all the time anyways.
Don't tell them that.
I mean, we watched the Sneaker movie.
We did. Aaron?
Yeah, that one.
No, but we have done we've done just some different things, We've enjoyed for the first time the last 2 Christmases, watching cheesy Christmas movies that they're so bad. They're so bad. And we look at each other the entire movie and this is terrible.
We rate them based off of the worst, or based off of the one we'd watched prior to that. We're
we'd compare them and contrast them to each other. None of them are actually good. Very few are actually decent. Most of them are bad, but it's the experience. It's it was just fun watching them together because we would never watch those kinds of movies.
Right.
We don't watch movies very often. We don't have time for movies very often, but Christmas movies are usually between an hour and a half. So it's we could do that a little more feasibly. But popcorn, yeah. But yeah, we did that cycle, and we would budget $100 a month in our as a line item for date night, and then we just figure out.
Just budgeting.
Yeah. We set aside money that says $100 a month goes towards us dating, and we just talk about it and be like, all right, how much do you need for the out of the house dating? She'd be like, oh, I need 70. All right, I can put it in the house
99
for 30. I'll use $1. We're gonna split some Reese's cups and have a good time. But we do some different creative games and stuff like that. But it's the key part of it was just spending that time together. And it got progressively harder to do the out of the house dating night because of the childcare thing. And your parents are great about watching the kids, but they're also our only babysitters. And so, just being able to find that time to get out of the house is just trickier.
But we can do it. We should.
Yeah. So, are you planning February's out of the house or in the house? Which do you want?
I had an idea, and I just had.
We might have to do 2 in the house dates because,
right.
This month is going to get eaten up so fast.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do 2 in the house, 2 indoor date nights. That's what we're doing this month. So, join in that. Don't join in it. Whatever. But I think there's value in dating your spouse, and I think there's a time and place for doing your own thing too. Like, I don't think that's wrong. It's like, there's nights where I go to beat ups and watch some games with the guys, and you want to have a small group or whatever, I think there's time and place for doing your own thing, but like if you're only ever doing that when the kids are asleep or whatever, then it's like you're not building that friendship. And I think like you should be best friends with your spouse. That's just my vote. Because it's more fun that way. Like, I can't imagine not enjoying being around you. It sounds like a miserable life to not enjoy being around the person that you live with, and having those date nights, like doing those fun things together, saying like, hey, this is dedicated time for us just to grow our relationship and our friendship. Like, it's worth it.
I just feel so sad when I hear people say like, and I don't know, because I have a lot of life to live before I get to this point, but like when people are like, I gotta find hobbies because I already feel like I'm spending too much time with my husband and we're both about to retire at the same time, and we might, your own hobbies are good and healthy, but the like we're spending too much time together, like I just feel like our whole relationship we've always been like, can't wait to spend time with you. Like, we always look forward to. And there's times, again, where it is healthy and you'll go watch your action stuff and I'll go watch HGTV and we're both happy in our own separate spaces. But
then there's also the vicinity thing, too. Where it's like, we might not be doing the same thing, but when we're doing it in the same room, it's like I could be playing Xbox and you could be watching TikToks or something. It's like we're just being together. It's like it's just nice to be with you, even if we're not doing the exact same thing. That's about all we got. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. I just needed a fun episode after the last 2 months worth of episodes that we put out. But yeah, we're going to be getting back into some interviews coming up, some other content. We're going to have Anthony on to co-host an episode coming up soon. And so I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, rocking with us. As always, take care of yourself, take care of your family. This is Kicks and Minibags. And thank you, Mrs. Kicks, for joining us this episode.